Yo, what up guys? So, as the video title says, this is going to be my 1000 day world tour. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm pretty much going to be going over the farms I made, because I pretty much only really did farms in this world, and I've also did other things, but I'm going to do them in order. So I'm going to like talk about them in order. I'm going to go to each one of them and just say like how long it took me to build them and if they're good enough. And I will leave the link in the description to every single one of these farms. So yeah, let's get into it. So pretty much this is my house. I'll show you guys the outside of it. It's not really anything impressive. It's really basic, and plus I'm not very good at building. I kind of did this my own idea, and I'm very bad at coming up with things with my own idea. And here's pretty much all these armor stands. I thought this would be a cool idea to have all the armor stands right here. And they're all enchanted. They're not all guard armor or anything. I just put random enchantments on them. And I have all the music discs right here. And this is also, I have a whole choco box of TNT I'm going to be using later on. And pretty much, yeah, that's my ender chest. And I have these two dragon heads. Pretty obvious. And then down here, I have my item frame wall, which I have no idea who commented about this, but somebody said I should put an item wall of my most important items. And if you're still watching this, whoever commented that, how you doing? But anyway, yeah, so pretty much I have a god apple here, a dragon head, a beacon, food, shulker box, ender chest, an enchanted shield, a elytra, dragon egg, totem of undying, pink sheep, or a pink wolf and a pink sheep I found, and then wither skeleton skull. And then here I have a whole totem, or a whole chest full of totems, and I have 32 beacons as well from the wither farm I just made in the last video, or the video before my caught zombies video. But anyway, here's my little aquarium. It's not really anything special. I have a turtle in there because, you know, why not? I have turtles in real life, so that would be cool to have a turtle in there. And then I fish in there too, but that's not important. I have an infinite water source, like almost every Minecraft house should have. I have my enchantment room. It's not really anything special, but yeah, it's pretty much my enchantment room. And down here is pretty much where I have a bunch of storage for just random items that I don't have storage for in my main storage room. And yeah, I have a lot of gunpowder in here, but not really anything down here that's important besides the gunpowder. There's also like armor and tools, all that stuff. Also prismarine. But anyway, so let's move on to our my actual storage room, which is this one. It's really basic, but I pretty much have all the main stuff in here that I would need. And if I go down here, oh yeah, I also have this whole double chest of totems right here as well. And I believe I have one right here as well. Yeah, so I have pretty much infinite totems. And down here is where pretty much all the mob stuff is, except for elytras and, you know, shulker boxes. And it's pretty much this storage room, not much to it. And then I have my little potion room. Not really sure what I could do with this, but all these have 64 blaze powder inside of them, which is, you know, perfect for just whenever I need to brew potions. And then in here is a bunch of potions that I probably am never going to use, but there's that. And then inside here is where my furnace room is, and I actually use it quite a lot. And yeah, it's pretty much my furnace room. And I guess we'll go down here next, which is pretty much my mining area. Now, there isn't much to this. It's just kind of mining everywhere. Wherever I want to mine, I mine. It's kind of, I just spam mined everywhere. And right here, I actually have an auto sorter for all of the blocks I get from mining, and I also have an auto item sorter for all the ores. And if I'm correct, yeah, I have 39 diamonds down here. And eventually, I'm going to try to make one of every type of beacon. If you guys know who WYZEN is, he's done that. He has an emerald beacon, a diamond, iron, netherite, and I can't think of the last one. I think there's one more. But pretty much down here is where my villagers used to be. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this down here. I have cats down here because I actually made a creeper farm that involved cats. I'm an iron golem because the villagers used to be down here. And I have another infinite water source. Actually, I was using this for fishing just to wait for the cats to grow up so I could use them for the creeper farm. And of course, another ender chest down here for whenever I need it. And then here's my nether portal room. There's nether wart here, chest for the nether wart, of course. And there's more right here. But that's pretty much it to my house. Now, I guess I'll show you guys one more thing before I start moving on to the farms, or I guess a few more things. So if you guys have seen my other Minecraft videos, I used to have every colored sheep, but I have all these red ones now. I changed them all into red because I needed a carpet to make the wither farm, or make the wither skeleton farm a lot better. But anyway, what I was gonna show you guys is that I have a 6-layered beacon. What I mean by that is I have 6 beacons like this in each dimension. So I have one in my overworld, I have one in the nether right here, and then of course I have one in the end. Now I don't know who commented this, it was on one of my most recent videos, but they said I should have six beacons in each dimension like this. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I didn't do this on recording anyway because I didn't feel like it was necessary. Stamp Enderman chasing me. But yeah, that's pretty much all the beacons. Now, 2 more things that I actually want to mention is that I pretty much have access to every single biome except for Mushroom. The Mushroom Island that I found a long time ago, around maybe, I don't know, day 200, 100, 200 I think, is all the way over there somewhere. I'm not sure. I'd have to look for it again, but I don't know why I would need one. I'm not sure, but I also have found a Woodland Mansion, but when I got there, there was a ruined Nether Portal that was actually inside of it, and it burned down. So there was pretty much no point to that, what's it called? That Woodland Mansion anymore. But pretty much now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the actual farms themselves. Alright, so my very first farm I ever made in this world was my slime farm. Okay, it looks like that's actually full. So pretty much this slime farm is amazing. It took me a while to mine this out because I didn't have a beacon at this time, and I don't know if I even had an efficiency pickaxe at all. But this slime farm is really good. It's pretty much max. And honestly, I would say that the slime farm is worth it if you need the slime balls at all. If you don't, it's honestly really not worth it. I personally don't need them anymore. I don't know what I would need them for other than sticky pistons. But yeah, that's pretty much my slime farm. And yeah, that's it. Alright, now we are at my Enderman Farm. I actually forgot to mention something about the slime farm, which was I built it on day 105 to 120, so it took me about maybe 15-ish days to make it. And I'm pretty much just gonna say, I don't know if I mentioned it, that I'm gonna say when I built these farms and how long it took me, like what days. And my next farm is Menderman Farm, and it took me from day 145 to 162. It actually took me a lot longer than I thought. I mean, it was pretty dangerous of a farm to make because I was right over the void. And I'd say that this farm is definitely worth it. This is literally my XP, my source of XP. I come to this farm whenever I need the XP. And honestly, I'd say that you definitely should build this as early on as you possibly can for the XP. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Enderman Farm. There's not really much to it. It was pretty annoying of a farm to build. But, of course, every farm kind of is annoying a little to some degree. But yeah, that's pretty much my Enderman Farm. And I'd say, again, that you should definitely build it. Alright, now my next farm, after my Enderman Farm that I built, was, of course, my raid farm. Now, this farm is very, very dangerous if you don't have really, really good armor. Even with all my Prot 4 armor, this thing drains my health really fast. So, this farm is really, really good to have. It's obviously gotten me all the totems I have, and there's still so many more totems in here. And I guess I'll just take them, I guess, and put them in a shulker box. But this farm, honestly, it's worth it. For the totems, of course, and just, you know, maybe for the extra items. I don't personally care about the other items. I really only cared about the totems. Oh, and you could also get mending books out of this, which is pretty nice, but at the point I'm at, I don't really care, because I have all the mending I need. And this farm, I built it, let's see, it took me days 179 to 184. Is actually pretty short. The only thing about this farm that's really annoying is, of course, the villager that I had to get down here. Oh my, there's a lot of mobs right there. But there's actually a villager. I'm just gonna land in the water because I don't want to deal with the mobs. But there's a villager that's like inside of there somewhere, so the raids can actually start. But honestly, this farm definitely worth it for early game. I'd say early game build this. Late game, I don't know, because if you already have all the items you need, then there's not really a point to making it. So for these next 2 farms, They're both creeper farms. Now this one I built really early on in my world, and it took me day 203 to 212. It took me a bit to build this because, you know, it's pretty complicated to build it, but I also was kind of messing up the build. And I'd say that this is worth it, but I'd say that it's not the best. Now, this creeper farm right here that I built next to it is really, really fast. I'd say if you have this creeper farm and that one next to each other, it's amazing. I think I got like 6 double chests full of full of gunpowder when I AFK'd. And honestly, I'm not sure which one of these two is better. They're both really, really, really good farms. Now, this second one right here, I don't really know how many days it took me to build this because I actually just built it off camera because I just didn't care enough to build it on camera. And this is actually when I didn't want to do the days anymore. I wanted to just do my own thing. And so I'd say that both of these are definitely worth it, 100%. And as I said, link in the description for all of these farms. And yeah, that's pretty much it for these creeper farms. Now the next thing is this right here. Now, this has come in handy for the past few videos because I have needed so many cobblestone slabs that it's not even funny. But anyway, this thing kind of blew itself up. And I'm not sure how. It pretty much was a TNT duplicator blowing up all the stone, turning into cobblestone, and went in all these chests. It was really, really fast. This thing was absolutely insane, and it took me day 225 to 229 to build this. It was actually very fast. It looks complicated, but it really isn't that complicated when I was watching the video. And I'd say that this is definitely worth it. Now that I built this early on, I didn't think much about it, how useful this was going to be to me, because at the time, obviously it wasn't that useful. But it's probably my most used thing I have, used in this world. But obviously, I'm kind of too lazy to put it back together, and I don't really know if I need cobblestone anymore. I mean, I'm probably going to need it eventually again. But at this certain point in time, I don't need it, so there's no point in me rebuilding this thing. But I'd say early game, build this. Late game, I don't know. But if you need the cobblestone, you definitely build it. But that's pretty much it for this farm. The next two things I'm going to go over is both of my iron farms. Now, this is my original iron farm. If you've seen my, my 300-day hardcore video, you'd see that I built this. Now, this thing really isn't that efficient. You'd probably need to AFK for this thing to work. As you can see, there's a lot of iron in here, but it's not nearly as much as that one makes me. Now, this one, early game, I'd say yes, it's a good farm for early game, just to get that quick iron. But late game, I'd say that this thing definitely, you shouldn't build it. It's really not that helpful. And the next iron farm I'm going to go over is this one right here. Now, this one is insane. It probably, it single-handedly has gotten me, I don't know, maybe 20 stacks of iron blocks. It's absolutely insane. But this farm, it only, actually, I don't think I have it, oh, I do. It took me from 483 to 498. It actually took me a long time to make this, because I needed to get 3 villagers in each of one of these sides, and that took me a long time. And that one over there, it took me from day 235 to 239. That one's really quick to build. It's really easy. But this one took a long time because, of course, all the villagers. And I'd say that this one is way more worth it than that one over there. The iron golems are literally, like, almost constantly spawning on this one versus that one. It's, like, one every, like, I don't know, 10 seconds or so. And this one, definitely worth it. Late game, yes. Early game, that one. Late game, this one, no. Don't build this one early game. It's really not worth it early game because it's too complicated and there's too many resources that go into it. But that one, definitely. Now, this next farm, I'm trying to find it. I can't really find it. I'm kind of struggling a little bit. But it is a witch farm. Okay, it's not there. But honestly, the witch farm that I built, let's see if I can actually find it or not. Okay, yeah, I found it. It's right here. Alright, so this witch farm, I don't know if it's worth it or not. I personally don't think it is because I have never used it once, and I just built it to build it because I want to have a farm for every type of mob in this game. And it only, let's see how long it took me. It took me from day 254 to 259, so only like 5 days. It really didn't take me long to build this, but I wouldn't say that it's worth it. I don't really know what it could be used for. Maybe potions. I don't really know. But this witch farm, in my opinion, it's not worth it. But if you guys have any like reasons to build a witch farm, then definitely build it. But honestly, I don't really know. Alright, so I'm gonna talk about these next, I think, 4 farms that are in the Nether all together, because, you know, I don't want to have to keep going back and forth. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the first one that was built, which is this pigman farm right here. This is a very fast farm. I'm gonna go ahead and just sit up here and show you guys how fast it really is. Look, the pigmen are just literally pouring in. Now, obviously, if you guys know what this farm is used for, it's used for gold. And this farm, as you can see, it is definitely worth it. This thing is so fast. And it only took me 5 days to make it. But you need so many supplies for it. I'd say later game, it's definitely worth it. Early game, it's really hard to get all the supplies you need, because I think you need like maybe like 2 shulker boxes of magma cubes. I don't remember, but it was a lot of magma cubes that I remember needing. And honestly, 100% build this. It is so useful. Now the next farm is this gas farm over here. It honestly isn't really worth it for the gunpowder, but it's worth it for the gas tiers. And the only reason I built this was because obviously, you know, I wanted to have a farm for every mob in the game. Now, only build this if you're wanting gas tiers. It's not really that worth it for the gunpowder because of the creeper farms that I showed you earlier. Those creeper farms outshine this thing in gunpowder. But I'd say it's definitely worth it later game if you have the supplies. It requires a lot, and I mean a lot, of obsidian. So, anyway, let's move on to the next farm. There isn't much to say about this because it's just a gas farm. Now, the next thing is the magma cube farm. I don't know. This thing right here. It is very, very fast. I'd say that this thing is worth it later game. Early game, not really, because I don't know. I don't really find a use for the I can't think of magma balls. I don't know what they're called. But I'd say this is worth it. Obviously, late game. Early game, I don't really know why you would need this, other than building farms, I guess. I don't know, but this only took me, let's see, from day 547 to 554. It took a while because I kept messing up the iron golems. They were kind of not really going in the right places. But this thing is very, very fast. I don't know how many, what is it called? Magma cream? I'm not sure what it's called. Let me see. Magma cream, that's it. Yeah, it's pretty worth it. I think it's already given me a stack from just sitting up there. I'm not really sure, but honestly, worth it later game. Early game, no. Sorry I keep repeating myself, but yeah, that's it for that. Now this farm right here, I don't know why I didn't build this earlier. This thing is so useful for food, it's kind of ridiculous. All I do is just sit up here and just let them spawn. Sometimes it takes a second, but obviously, as you guys can see, it's a hoglin farm. I use this for food, obviously. It gives me so much pork chop, and it only literally took me a day to build this. It was so easy to build this, and the supplies, it required like hardly anything. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and sit up here until all these hoglins die, and I'll show you guys how much food that gives me. Alright, so for only sitting up there for like 20 seconds, it's already gotten me almost a stack. It's kind of insane how efficient this is. But let's go ahead and move on to the next farm. I'm not sure what the next one is, but let's get to it. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is my Nether Hub. I'm actually not going to show a farm. Oh yeah, so this is basically where the iron golems go from that really insane iron golem farm that I showed you. And it is just so insane. But this is pretty much my Nether Hub. It is really not that good. It's kind of terrible because I don't know how to build. But that's pretty much it for my Nether Hub. It's really, really simple. So my next farm is my Blaze farm. This thing is absolutely insane. I don't know why I didn't build this earlier. It is so useful for the blaze powder. Like, look how many blazes are. Like, they're all just gonna pour in here. Or, maybe? They should. Yeah, here they come. this is actually an insane blaze farm, and I'd say definitely build this as early as you can for the blaze powder. It's actually really simple, but it's very annoying. But yeah, I'd say build this honestly whenever you can. Alright, now we're coming up on my wither skeleton farm, and my god, this farm was the biggest pain I've ever had to experience. Now, this thing is insanely fast. Here, I'll just show you guys a little bit. If you haven't seen my wither farm video, these they spawn really fast. Well, maybe it takes a second. Oh yeah, they're already coming. It's actually insane. And I literally AFK'd overnight, and it's filled up all of these chests, and I got like 7 stacks of wither skeleton skulls, which is actually insane. Look how many there's so many. If I literally just boom. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of insane. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys pretty much how long this took me. So I don't have like an exact time because I had to place slabs 128 blocks in each direction. And my god, that took, I would have to say maybe 100 Minecraft days. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I think I'm over exaggerating a bit, but it felt like that long. It took me so long to do this, but I'd say I built this later game. Now, that cobblestone generator I showed you guys earlier, if you build that before this, you'll have a way easier time because you need so many cobblestone slabs. Or you don't need cobblestone slabs, but you need so many slabs in general that having that cobblestone generator would come in so useful. But honestly, I'd say this wither skeleton farm is probably one of the best farms solely because of the nether stars you can get from the withers you can kill from getting the wither skeleton heads from these guys. But that's pretty much it, I think, for the nether. There's not really anything else in the nether that I can show you guys. Let me see. Yeah, no, there's not really. So I guess I'll move on to the end, which is where my last farms are, and then I'll have a few more things to show you guys, and then that'll be the end of the video. Alright, so I believe my second to last farm is my bee farm, or I guess my honey farm as it's called. And this is good, but I haven't really had a use for it yet. The only reason I built this was to make a tree farm, and honestly, I haven't really cared enough to actually like AFK and let this thing do its thing. But that's pretty much the bee farm. There's not much to it. It's really small. It took me only 2 days to make it because it's really small. But I'd say it's worth it. I guess early game, it actually doesn't really matter. It's whenever you need honey, then build it. But my very, very last farm, I think I'm gonna show you it. Oh, alright, like I was saying before I accidentally went in the portal back home, I was gonna show you one more farm, but I forgot there's 2 more farms I'm gonna show you. So this one right here is the wither farm. This thing is insanely efficient. It got me 42 nether stars, I believe, in about 40 minutes. It can get you 1 nether star in 1 minute, I think. So it's really, really good. But you need a wither skeleton farm in order to make that. And in order to make the wither skeleton farm, well, you don't need to do this, but I pretty much have all farms that kind of all connect to each other. If I didn't have all these farms, I wouldn't be able to make other farms. And the next farm I'm going to show you is my wither rose farm. And it is insanely efficient, like almost all my other farms. And it's only useful for the wither roses. And it's only obviously useful for any farms that require wither roses, which is my wither skeleton farm, which is my most useful farm at the moment. And it's fast. Now, in a second, if I'm right, yeah, the endermen are just going to start spawning. And I'd say building this later game, obviously, because you need to build it in the end, and it requires not a lot of materials, but it requires enough that you probably want to build it later game. This thing is super efficient, as I keep saying over and over again. But it only took me, let's see, day 313 to 317 is actually very fast. And I'd say that I haven't really had much use for it other than the wither skeleton farm. I really haven't had really any farm that requires wither roses at all, just only the wither skeleton farm. And I'm not sure what other uses it has, but that's pretty much it for the farms. Now there's a few more things I'm going to show you guys before I end the video. Okay, so just remember again, I have one more farm, and that'll be it'll be definitely the last one. And one of the things I wanted to show you was my my own village I made. And I'm kind of proud of this because wait. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Wait, are the villagers dead? No, they're not. Okay. So basically, why this looks so stupid like this, like why all the blocks are gone, is because I accidentally reverted my world back to 1.16, and it kind of like messed up my world a little bit. And I don't know why there's not really that many villagers left. I don't know what happened. But pretty much this village, it took me, I think, let's see, from day 563 to 584, because I was doing my own idea, and I'm actually really, really proud of this. I'm so happy I did something that wasn't actually a video, and it actually looks pretty nice. Now, I'm gonna have to probably breed my villagers again, because they're all dying, I think from zombies or something like that. I don't really know. But I'm gonna move on to my last farm, and then show you guys my most proud thing I've ever done in this world. Alright, so coming up on our last farm, or my last farm, I almost forgot where this is, but it's pretty much my guardian farm, and this thing works like a charm. It is very, very efficient. Let's see if it starts working or not. Yeah, it's working. Alright, so pretty much, as you see, the guardians are just spawning inside of here, and they're getting pushed up. And I would say that later game this thing is worth it, because early on it'd be a pain to have to build this because of the amount of guardians that would be there to ruin your day. But yeah, that's pretty much my last farm, and it took me, let me see, it took me from day 538 to 545, so it only took me around like 7 days. But for the longest time I never actually had this working because I messed up. And honestly, it's an insane farm. And I don't know what other farm could really top this besides my Enderman Farm, because this thing is really fast with XP. But yeah, that's pretty much my guardian farm. Let's move on to the very, very last thing in my world that I have, well, not ever done, but the thing that I'm most happy that I have done. Alright, my very last thing that I'm going to show is obviously my ocean monument that I've turned into the end and drained it all out of water. Now, this is a hard thing to do because it takes so long. You have to have so much dedication to do this, and you have to deal with the amount of pain that you have to go through, which is, you know, draining the whole thing. And this in total probably took me around 30 hours of just straight playing. Well, I didn't like only just play, but if you were to just straight play and not stop, it'd probably take you around 30 hours. But this thing, I don't have any use for it. I literally did this only for a video, and I don't know what to do with it. If you guys have any suggestions, then let me know, because I still don't know what to do with it. That's pretty much been the video. There isn't really much else to show you guys, so that's been the video. If you guys enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.